This is the Atlanta Small Business Show.
Hi everyone, I'm Jim Fitzpatrick for the Atlanta Small Business Show, and this week we're on location right here at CYB Atlanta, which is in the middle of Buckhead, right on Piedmont, and I'm with the owner of the studio, Mr. Wlaa. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you having it.
This is such a cool studio. I mean, you know, you're all set up for some success here with your clients.
Well, we're definitely trying to have that. One of the biggest things we focus on is detail.
Sure.
And we try to emulate that, and hopefully you guys see it over here.
Right, yeah, it's amazing. We're going to dive right in here. Tell us, before we get started, about the business and how you got involved in it. Take us back and tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to this point.
Well, thanks for the question. Great question. One of the biggest things is I'm pretty much always motivated. Come from an immigrant family from Liberia, West Africa, and moved here, living in London, moving to Ghana, moved here for college. And one of the biggest things that I focus on is being motivated all the time, and that's how I got into this business. I pretty much started with being a finance major in college, and literally thought I was going to go into the investment business. Having a business background kind of helped me strategically get into this, and allowed me to kind of see that this was my passion. I always worked out. I'm an ex-athlete. I played at Florida State University. And one of the biggest things that I love about it is that it keeps me challenged. It keeps me challenged as a business owner and as a trainer with different clientele.
So at what point in time do you decide, I'm not going to pursue the finance career, I want to become a trainer and a studio or a club owner?
Great question. 2008 was when I graduated, so it kind of made it easy. 2008, the business was, the markets were terrible.
And every finance business out there was laying people off.
Exactly. So coming out of college, it was tough to get a job. And I had to look deep and figure out, what do I love doing? Right. And I always watch myself go to the gym and work out. And I'm like, I watch the trainers working the clients out, and I'm like, this is probably for me, because I did it while I was in college for a little bit. But I pretty much went into it head first, and I said, I could definitely do this. I can definitely tackle the market from what's not being solved from a problem standpoint, and kind of figure out some opportunities that I can take on.
So 3 years ago, you open up CYB.
Yes.
So you don't, obviously, for the people that are listening right now, it's a phenomenal gym, and it's right in the middle of Buckhead. That can't be cheap. It's not cheap real estate, and this equipment is beautiful. So talk to us about that journey. How all of a sudden you've got, I believe you've got a client that helps you out, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Talk to us about that.
So one thing I always say is that you just never know, right? And I always train my clients with enthusiasm, energy, and client A, who is also an investor, literally started off training since 2009, right? And always was working out at weird times. And girlfriends would always say, dude, why are you leaving at 3 o'clock in the morning? 2 o'clock in the morning? To me, like, what are you doing? I mean,
do you have another girlfriend?
Exactly. Well, so I would go train my client early in the morning, because he always traveled. He was a CEO. And one of the biggest things was that I'm never going to miss out on an opportunity. Well, come to find out, that was an amazing opportunity for me. 3 years into training him, he literally gave me the opportunity to start my own business by having a lunch meeting with me and asked me what I want to do with my life for the next 10 years. And so that's how it started. Invested in the business at a literally, which the most business owners would probably say it's the worst investment he could have made, because it was a 0% interest investment. He says to you, what's it going to cost for you to pursue your dream of opening up a gym and offering this boutique approach to fitness? You hit him with a number, and he says, okay, I'm in. I'll help you and put up the money. And that comes from one of your best clients. One of my best clients, and probably one other person as well. But at the end of the day, it's like literally that's how it started, and the opportunity was there. So now you've got the money for the venture. Now it's a question of where are we going to open it up. You have another client that has an office building right here in Buckhead on Piedmont, which is a great location. And he says, well, if you got the money for a gym, I can help you open up in my office building here. And we'll throw in some incentives and what have you, and build out and all of that. And so now you've got the location, now you got the money to open the deal. You're in business. It's a dream come true, pretty much. And one of the things, again, it's like you look at it from a standpoint of, this is an opportunity you can't let go by, right?
That's right.
And so you sit down and you stay up late nights and you figure out everything that needs to be done to make sure it's successful.
Sure.
And again, we had our tough times at the beginning,
Right.
and we're still working on the strategic planning over the long run.
Right.
But all said and done, it's an amazing opportunity, and the goal is just to continue to keep our clients happy and go from there.
So tell me about the inspiration behind the gym. What got you to say, okay, I'm going to open this?
Oh yeah, so again, it goes back to the clientele I worked with, and one of the biggest things is frustration. I found that a lot of clients were frustrated with the service they got, and the trainers I worked with were not happy with the breakdown of pay or the way the system was set up.
Sure.
And so I came up with the idea that, okay, if I can have this frustration and have an opportunity to tackle it, why not?
Right.
And that was where the uniqueness started, having a situation where you can create an environment that allows a client to have an experience with a trainer who is much more happy at the current state that they're in, and provide the ability to connect those clients with the right service they need. And one of the things you did mention was about services. It's literally all about making sure that you can provide a client a network of services that adds to the value of what you stand for about wellness.
Right.
And that was one of the ways
that was the inspiration.
That's literally inspired me immensely, because of how I could literally change a client's point of view about fitness and wellness in general.
Great, sure. And now you're off and running. You're successful. You're turning a great profit. What were some of the struggles that you had opening up? What were some of the things that you might not have planned on as an entrepreneur? What are some
Success is a tough one. I wouldn't say we're successful yet, according to my books, but we're getting there. The goal was that we have an opportunity to kind of create an Uber fitness for everyone when I first opened the gym. Right. And so we had group classes. We had all these different things going on. And the struggle I had was, you want to have this high quality service. Right. But at the end of the day, you have to have the market that's going to pretty much be able to pay for that. Right. Right. And so I came in with all these different options and having all these different trainers working for me from different angles. And I realized that you can't have that. You have to pretty much perfect what you're really good at and make it the best at what it is. And so literally one of the biggest struggles was me coming up and saying, I have to cancel out some services we offer and focus on the main target, which is personal training, and make that have options for the clients who want personal training.
What would be the target demographic? What's the audience that you're after?
Well, the great question. And the biggest thing was all about what's frustrating clients, right? And so at the end of the day, the target market is for the client who has literally realized that they need guidance. They need longevity in health. They need someone to invest just as much time as they're willing to invest in themselves, and we take the opportunity to pretty much give them that. Right. Game planning, so on and so forth, and go from there.
Certain age? Could it be any age?
21
to 91?
Oh my goodness. You look at it from a standpoint of mobility first, and anyone, 90 years old or 60 years old or 20-year-old, you look at 20-year-olds today, they think they're moving properly, and that's a whole different conversation. It's like the movement is very important so you don't get injured later on.
Good point.
Right? Good point. So what's happening is people are taking a reactive approach to fitness versus a proactive approach. And my job is to say, how about we look at what's not moving efficiently right now, and let's look at what's efficient, and those things that are inefficient, we fix it before you start going crazy. Sure. And now, that's the model.
Let me ask you this. Somebody hears boutique fitness, one-on-one training in Buckhead, the richest real estate in Atlanta, and maybe Georgia for that matter. Do they think, wow, I don't know if I can even afford that. I'm sticking to my LA Fitness, or I'm thinking someplace else. But a boutique fitness on Piedmont in Buckhead, that's got to be pricey.
It is a pricey approach. However, we've created a situation that is available for everyone. Sure. If you, like I said, are seeking a better opportunity than what's out there right now, the box gyms are available. They're great. They make you sweat. They get you in shape. Right. But what I've realized from the opportunity that it provides is that people get injured. Yeah. And my approach is not, first thing is get you in shape. My first approach is like, how can I keep you from getting injured? Yeah, that's a good point. And if I can keep you from getting injured, you have a longer haul of staying in shape. And that goes back to my model of longevity and health versus just the outside aesthetics.
Yeah. What does CYB stand for?
CYB is Catch Your Breath. Okay. So Catch Your Breath came up with a client way back where I always worked them out, and it was all about sweating. Right. And anyway, it's stuck, right? And now it's all about catching your breath and making yourself think about something different from your everyday hustle and bustle. I got to be at work. I got to go pick up the kids.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I have a conference call. I'm flying out to LA on an executive meeting. Catch your breath, get on your app or get on your workout tip with your trainer, and just have a moment for yourself. Sure. And so we have a phrase, CYB moment.
Okay, like so it's kind of a holistic approach to fitness.
And that's how you can look at it. Sure. I mean, it's a mantra that I kind of created where it's like, you just need your time. Yeah. Everyone does. Everybody needs a mental and a physical approach to themselves.
That's right.
And go from there, yep.
So any plans to franchise this system?
Relative to franchising, that's a tough one because scaling a business requires some level of dropping your quality. Yeah. And so what I've done is I have the ability to let it lengthen for a period of time and make sure I get a perfect approach. Okay. And you can't never be perfect. Sure. But you can kind of like weed out all the issues. Yeah. And I'm taking that on. I'm not.
You're using this time to do that.
Correct.
Get the program set.
Do I want to franchise? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So down the road, that's the plan.
Definitely. 5-year plan. Great. I think that we're in a position to one day be there. Right. I don't think franchising would be what we want. We think we want to open up more spaces to allow our clients to have more convenience, more ability to have the option to train if they want to train at a CYB with guided counseling and guided approach to working out. Also allow the client to have access to technology. Right. Again, an app is really important in today's world. So at the end of the day, if you have an option where you can have your coach right in front of you or guiding you and sending you a message to, yo, did you get your workout in this morning? Sure. Or did you eat how you're supposed to eat? Right. Or so on and so forth. Sure. That allows us to kind of like tackle the fintech market or just the fitness industry in general and kind of like make them think a little bit more, not just have me come to the box gym and work out. Right. Like I need to have a convenience approach to working out as well.
Sure. If I'm interested in becoming a client and I've got allocated, let's say $150 a month for fitness. Okay?
Correct.
Can I be a client of CYB?
Sure you can. I've created a situation where anyone could be a client. Okay. They just have to reallocate their money sometimes for a temporary period of time. Okay. So one of the questions I always ask someone after we do all of our discovery is, what's your budget? Yeah. And I use that because it's part of my business background of you need to know what you can allocate.
You're a money guy.
Exactly. Right. So you have the 150, great, I multiply by 12. Sure. Right? And I say this month we might spend 600 of that 12-month plan, right? Right. But I'm going to get you in a situation that you can build some independence. Okay. And then we might get off a little bit and have you do certain programs for the next 3 months. Sure. And then I'm going to follow up with you, make sure you get it. Okay. Now, in that same time, you're pretty much understanding the client, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. Sure, sure. And it allows you to kind of like create a plan that works for them.
Come up with that foundational type training.
Exactly. But then it creates the personalization because everybody might not be accountable or they might not have the mindset. And you have to kind of make sure you're tackling that as well.
Yeah, for sure. So what advice would you have for the entrepreneurs that are listening to you right now saying, well, this guy went out and found the money from his clients and opened up shop and seems to be doing pretty well, and he's got a 5-year plan and wants to one day franchise the program. And so where you are right now is the dream of many that are viewing us today. Yes. What advice would you have for them?
Well, it's a great question. I think that one of the biggest things I would say is just be you. Be authentic. Be kind to people. You just never know. Like I said earlier, opportunity is always available. Right. The biggest thing I would always say is make sure you have a situation where if you are given the opportunity, that you create something that's unique, something that stands out, something that doesn't just add to the pack. Because at the end of the day, when you look at most things that stand out, they literally mean that they're structured in a way where it's not where it's being financed or it's being like taken care of. And so one of the biggest things I would say is like make sure that the uniqueness and the quality that you pretty much stand for stands out in everything you do. Sure. Sure.
I hear a lot of talk from you and a lot of commitment from you, I should say, that talks about the quality, the overall quality. I think that probably is one of the things that does set you apart. In anticipation of this interview, we spoke to some of your clients and they said that is by far something that really jumps out far beyond your competition out there, is that you're so focused on the quality and the one-on-one relationship that you have with your clients.
Yes, and I'm humbled you saying that you talk to them, and one of the biggest things is, yes, relationship is very important with clients. a lot of times you don't think about it, but that's where retention starts.
Right.
People think that you come in here and give somebody a great workout, and then, they're always going to be there.
Not necessarily.
No,
right.
not necessarily at all.
Sure,
It's more about building relationship, building rapport,
Right.
allowing yourself to show that you are invested.
Right.
Because they're investing a lot of money. At the end of the day, you said we're in Buckhead. I do not charge small money. But at the end of the day, it's like you want to make sure that your quality speaks for it and your value is there.
Right.
And nobody really would worry about the money then. They'll
that's
come
right.
up with it and they'll find a way to stay coming.
That's right.
Right.
Wlaa Weeks, CEO and founder of one of the hottest clubs here in Buckhead. And if you haven't already heard of it, check it out. Go online, stop by right here in Piedmont, meet Wlaa. I think you'll agree that the guy is tops in his field. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And check out CYB.
Yep, appreciate it.
CYB Atlanta.
Get your breath.
Thanks for watching Atlanta Small Business Show. This has been a JBF Business Media production.